Okay, so can you hear us through the screen? Okay.
I can hear you now.
Oh, hey, Mike.
Hello.
Just make sure when you're voting and for roll call, if you could put your video on.
Of course.
Okay. All right, so I think we're good, right? All right, and one speaker. And for the cell phone or vacuum, check anything?
No, it's in here, here. You can hear.
I'm kind of guessing it. Is there still on? Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize.
And I looked at that's on in the back. I didn't know we were gonna do that, but it looks like that's on. That's probably where you see the city hall.
So.
If you did one.
She's driving or the whole truck?
We usually record straight. So.
It might be like 3 or 4 inches of snow.
Right, so I think we're good. We'll start it off, just confirm so that we're ready. And is it running there? Okay, so. Okay, well, I guess we'll see him when he becomes a panelist, so. Well, start off together. We're just gonna wait for running.
Is he coming?
No, he said virtual, but I'll send it.
Coming in virtual or coming in person?
Oh, is that running?
He's starting in person, okay.
Oh.
All right, because we know you. All right. All right. Yeah.
Apparently we have a cat present for the council meeting.
Okay. Aw.
Carl, I can't do that with my dog.
He actually decided to come up here now. I'm sort of vaguely chagrined, but I don't have the courage to put him down, so. This is his home, what can I say?
Andrea, Rennie is here.
All right. You guys all good? To start, and you can hear us, Lisa?
You're all set.
Okay. Meeting to order at 7:32 p.m. on Thursday, January 13th, 2022. If we could stand for the pledge of allegiance and then we stand for a moment of silence.
Where's that flag?
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. May I please have roll call?
Alderman Hill,
Here.
Alderman Frankel,
Here.
Alderman Scott Childress,
Here.
Alderman Worthington,
Here.
Alderman Mohammed,
Here.
Alderman Davis,
Here.
Alderman Oliveri,
Here.
Alderman Shabbat,
Here.
Alderman Hirsch.
Here. Here we have a quorum. We now enter into public speaking portion of the meeting. We have allotted 30 minutes for this purpose. Speakers will have 3 minutes. If there are any remaining speakers after 30 minutes, I will call for a motion from the council to extend the period for another 30 minutes. Speakers, please direct your comments to the chair, as council members cannot engage in debate during this time. Please state your name and address on the record before you address the council. For the audience in chambers and on Zoom, there shall be no distractions when a speaker is addressing the council. The common council has also received, the common council has received written comments for consideration and will be on the website. Can I have the first speaker, please?
We had one speaker sign up, but I don't see her in attendance, unless she's in person.
No speakers in person. Anybody else on Zoom who would like to speak?
Message me in the chat if you want to speak.
Yes, in the chat to the host if you'd like to speak. Any speakers?
Nobody.
All right, we are now closing the public speaking portion of the evening. We are now moving to the second reading of local law 1 of 2022, please.
Local Law 1 of 2022 of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing the City of Kingston entitled rental properties to prohibit evictions without good cause.
Elisa, can you reread that just because there's a big hiccup in sounds? So for the audio, can you just reread that, please?
Sure. Local Law 1 of 2022 of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing the amendment to Chapter 332 of the Code of the City of Kingston entitled Rental Properties to prohibit evictions without good cause.
Question? Alderman Rennie Scott Childress.
Thank you, President Shaw. The good cause eviction proposal signals a change in the way we handle rental housing here in Kingston. I understand that some housing providers are worried at the changes called for. This is only natural, but the proposal, which would better be called reasonable explanation, will have minimal impact on housing providers. It will have significant impact for renters. Tenants in the City of Kingston have suffered a double crisis over the past 2 years, sharply rising rents and the COVID pandemic. The residents of Kingston as a whole face a crucial decision. Are we going to fight to keep our neighbors, friends, and family members in their homes? Anyone who loves the city, who cares for those around us, must answer yes, and I will vote yes in favor of this local law. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have a question? Alderman Tony Davis and then Alderman River Worthington.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd just like to say thank you to the Laws and Rule Committee and the former members that are on there and the current members are on there for doing due diligence to come up with this Payne's local law to make sure that they had everything that they needed to have in. And I just want to thank them for that, and I will be a yes vote.
Thank you. Alderman River Worthington, please.
Thank you, Madam President. Yes, I'm going to also be in favor of this law, and I just want to say thank you to the public and to the community who came out and voiced their support for this law. I think that it's going to help our residents stay in their homes. It's going to also guard against predatory rent increases. And as Freddie said, I understand that that everyone's not in favor with this, in particular the landlords. However, we're hoping that this law will also bring the parties together and get them talking to one another. And so I will be in favor of this, and hopefully my other council members will be in favor of it as well.
Thank you. Anybody else have a question? Alderman Steve Shabbat and then Alderman Michelle Hirsch.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this has been one of those topics. I'm sure like everybody else, I've received a lot of calls and letters on both sides of the equation. I have to admit, I'm here tonight with quite a few reservations about it. When we began discussing this, last year during the COVID crisis, I really agreed with the philosophy of this. I was really in favor of it, for a limited time. One of the, I've been struggling with enacting this as law, because it's going to be on the books. That's probably number one, is the time frame that bothers me. And I appreciate the work everybody did. This has been really a tough one. But I think we might be facing a lot of legalities as we move on. As someone on the council said, this might be not the most user-friendly procedure in the world, but it is a procedure. At least it's a starting point. And another thing I really have to think about. Being a landlord is a business. I do talk to a lot of landlords, and it is a business to them. And I'm not a big fan of us dictating the terms of their businesses. However, at the end of the day, I've heard a lot of people both here and, on phones and through emails that they're uncomfortable with the situation. Even those who said they have angelic landlords and they have no problems, they never know what they're going to face in the future. So, there's a certain uncomfortableness involved here, which, we see quite often. And, I really don't like to see people living with angst. So anyway, we're on with this, after much thought and much debate in my mind here, I will be voting yes.
Thank you. Alderwoman Rochelle Hirsch, please.
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you, fellow council members, for calling this special meeting for the good cause eviction legislation before us tonight, as the state of New York will be letting the current eviction moratorium expire this Saturday, January 15th. We are witnessing a housing crisis at both the national level and right here in Kingston. This legislation will help prevent displacement, reduce homelessness, and provide nearly 6,000 tenants in the city of Kingston with much needed relief in the midst of this ongoing pandemic. Since first taking office in January 2020, not a week has gone by where I haven't received calls from constituents, many elderly and living on fixed incomes. They don't know what they will do once their lease is up because they cannot afford the rent increases due to the rapid gentrification of Kingston and our ongoing housing crisis. They literally have nowhere to go. This pandemic has brought more and more downstaters to Kingston. Rents continue to rise as our new residents are used to paying some of the highest rents in the nation. My ward and the city has lost beloved community members as tenants get pushed out of Kingston and new tenants move in that are willing to pay the exorbitant rents. Landlords can raise the rent or refuse to renew a lease without cause and turn that lease over to someone else for a lot more money. Recently, a one-bedroom apartment in Kingston's Ward 9 increased by 67% and is being leased for $2,000 a month. This is not a luxury apartment. Families cannot afford to live here. This legislation is not designed to hurt the many good small mom and pop landlords that we have here in Kingston. They already do the right thing, and I thank them for that. This legislation protects tenants from unjust evictions and prevents indirect evictions that are caused by steep rent increases and non-renewal of leases. I am voting yes to move this legislation forward because it is morally the right thing to do for our community members. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have a question? Hearing nobody else, I will call for the vote. Council members on Zoom, if you could just hold up your thumb up for a yes vote, and then when I call for a no, hold your thumb down if it's a no. Chamber folks, just do what we normally do. So, all in favor? Opposed? Local law is passed 9-0. It's adopted 9-0. I do just want to make a point of information note, the mayor will need to schedule a public hearing before he passes this into law. So he couldn't do so until we pass this, but I expect soon for him to put out notice. So for everybody listening, that is the next step. It's now a public hearing in the mayor's hands. Anybody else have anything before I call for a motion to adjourn? May I hear a motion to adjourn? Motion by Tony Davis, second by Rita Worthington, all in favor to adjourn? Aye. Opposed? We are hereby adjourned until February 1st, 2022 at 7:30.
Thank you.
Hi, all.
Good night, everyone.